How to find potential projects with 100 times tokens. Recently, I've heard that some guys in our community are feeling anxious. Why is it that some projects have skyrocketed by tens or even hundreds of times while they either missed out on the opportunity, couldn't handle it properly, or even got caught at the peak and ended up in a slump? Why is it that in such a market, where there are such lucrative opportunities right in front of us, some people just can't seem to capitalize on them? Perhaps what's missing here is an investment logic for identifying potential projects. Many people eagerly await me to share our team's investment selection logic. After careful consideration, I've decided to dive into it today. I'll analyze our own team's investment framework, focusing on aspects like tool utilization, identifying market cycles, exploring industry leaders, and evaluating project qualifications. I hope this analysis will inspire you and help us improve our ability to discover projects with the potential for massive returns. The following method is based on our team's verified experiences in the market and is considered proprietary knowledge. They are not investment advice, but they are definitely worth exploring further. Well, let's dive right into the first part today, tools. As saying goes, a good workman always uses good tools. In the crypto field, it's the same story. Every day we gather a wealth of information and use various tools for screening and execution. These tools include information sources, data queries, and various analysis tools, among others. Instead of listing them one by one, let me give you a consolidated website that contains all the tools related to the industry. You can find everything you need on this website, whether it's news, development resources, analysis tools, NFT-related information, secondary data, IDO projects, cross-chain solutions, and more. You can explore and learn how to use these tools on your own. I believe all of you can easily figure it out with a little trial and error. However, I'd like to suggest, in our rapidly evolving industry, we may not be able to capture every piece of information in real time, but we must make it a point to review and reflect on our actions regularly. The daily routine of reviewing what happened in the industry is a habit for some people who rely on consulting websites, as well as social media platforms like Twitter. Regardless, staying updated by keeping abreast of news and trends is crucial in this field. Of course, following me might be enough, but it's important to also maintain a rigorous approach. For example, when checking data or buying coins on the blockchain, make sure to verify and double-check the contract addresses. It is recommended to use new tools and avoid using your primary wallet directly. You can experiment with some familiar tools by setting up additional test wallets. Of course, you can also use your main wallet. Now that we have talked about tools, let's get back to the topic of how to identify a potential project. The first point is called new opportunities arise with every cycle. This means that it is important to identify these cycles because each one creates new sectors, and every sector will generate new leading projects. These leading projects are always good opportunities for wealth creation. For example, during the second half of 2020, the DeFi sector emerged, followed by NFTs and GameFi. These sectors had never existed before, so they became trendy as soon as they appeared. The second point is called new opportunities lead the way. This means that when a new sector emerges, leading projects in that sector will appear too. For instance, in the DeFi sector, Uniswap and AAVE were the leading projects, while the BAYC series became the leading project in the NFT sector. Even in the GameFi sector, Axie Infinity, SKYROCKEted, and other leading projects emerged. So, identifying leading projects is also one of the essential skills. But what's the thinking behind this? Once a sector becomes popular and generates many projects, it requires a scalable network to support them. Therefore, public chains supporting these projects become a necessary development track. When we saw the DeFi craze, Ethereum's gas fees skyrocketed, and its congestion problems could not be solved in a short time. That's why Binance Smart Chain, BSC, and Huobi Chain, HECO, were launched to compete in the market. In addition, Solana and AVAX are public chains that have jumped on the bandwagon and performed well in the market. Apart from market competition, Ethereum has a high market share as the leading public chain. However, to save itself, it needs to expand its scalability. So the next trend to explode will be scalability. However, this expansion is not completed in one go, so it launched a two-layer network, which is layer 2 of this year's giant disaster, which is essentially the same business that Ether does naturally, will not be wrong. So this piece of progression will give birth to a new opportunity to see if the first is the battle of bored households, the second is the development of specific products, such as the development of significant supply chains. After the supply chain, you have to run out of star products. You have to run out of the leader, such as the BSC chain above the cake, MDX on Hecko. So, projects like Ray on Solana present great opportunities for wealth creation. This is due to the rotation of different sectors within each cycle, bringing significant benefits. However, it's challenging to observe the details by only looking at the cycle. Once we grasp the direction of each cycle, how do we filter out promising projects? We need to focus on the project itself. What makes a good project? Generally, a big sector will generate one or two leading projects. These projects share a common feature. They either have excellent backgrounds and have received investment from large capital sources early on, or they are native projects like Cake on Binance that will receive strong support. This can significantly increase the exposure and funding of the project. For example, let's look at Arbitrum, which has become popular this year. First, let's look at its direction. As a Layer 2 project of Ethereum, it solves the problem of network congestion. The demand and potential in this field are enormous, making it a perfect sector. Next, let's examine Arbitrum's background. It has raised $143 million. Arbitrum also has excellent funding sources, including Coinbase and Pantera, and heavyweight investors. Furthermore, the team behind Arbitrum is exceptional. Ed Felton, appointed the White House's first chief technology officer, proposed the concept of Arbitrum. He provided technical security for the Obama administration. So, let's take a comprehensive look at the timeline. The project was initiated in 2018 with an exceptional team. In 2020, during the DeFi summer frenzy, they conducted a testnet and deployed their contracts. By 2021, they started raising a significant amount of funding. Then, in 2022, during the bear market, they kicked off the Odyssey event, which we all know, right? In 2023, just before the Shanghai upgrade, they launched an airdrop, igniting the market completely. From these simple descriptions, we can see that Arbitrum is a typical project that aligns with a good track, has a great racing team, and is the darling of the era. Everything seems meticulously designed. Now let's analyze the data perspective. After the launch of Arbitrum 1 in September 2021 and the completion of a $120 million Series B funding round, the user base of Arbitrum started to grow, quickly establishing its lead in the same race. Let's review the situation. At this point in time, we all know that the concept of Ethereum's Layer 2 has been gaining a lot of attention, and it is considered essential. As a project developed by an exceptional team, Arbitrum is not only in a leading position in terms of data, but also commendable in terms of funding. This has caught the attention of various parties, making it a potential project that aligns with the current market conditions. If it hasn't issued its own token, we invest in it. If it has issued its token, we wait for the right moment. The explosion in this sector in 2023. Once the market conditions improve, this sector will undoubtedly lead the bull market. So what should we focus on next? As a leading Layer 2 network, we should pay attention to other applications within its ecosystem. When there's a lot of noise surrounding a project, high-quality projects related to DEX, lending, derivatives, and other aspects are likely to emerge. In such cases, we can use tools like DeFi Llama to monitor changes in locked-in value. When we notice significant changes in traffic or data, the projects with high rankings in terms of locked-in value within the ecosystem are worth our attention. They could be the next leaders in this ongoing series. For example, this year, GMX and RDNT have shown strong performance within the Arbitrum ecosystem. Of course, when researching market cycles and projects within a specific cycle, we must consider an objective condition, which is alignment with the current market. We shouldn't sell luxury goods when people are concerned about basic needs in an old society. Likewise, it wouldn't be appropriate to present a glass of wine elegantly when people are enjoying barbecues and kebabs. Just like Ethereum's primary task now is scalability. Therefore, we should look for opportunities based on the current market conditions and the foundation of scalability. Once the scalability is achieved, we can then focus on these abundant opportunities within the ecosystem. So the opportunities we need to pay attention to must be based on the existing objective problems in the market and propose solutions and development plans. It's from these ideas and perspectives that we can find opportunities. This approach better enables us to capture the value and then wait for the market noise to act as a tailwind. After all, even pigs can fly when the wind blows, right? All right, let's summarize. A promising project must align with a good track, skilled drivers, and a strong team. We position ourselves strategically when the market demand logic is met, and we patiently wait for the noise to appear and reach a certain peak. That marks the end of one cycle, in other words, a phase-based peak. Throughout this process, we stay informed about the market using tools like news apps and social media, always maintaining sensitivity. Well, that covers all the content for this episode. If you enjoyed my content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. By the way, I have a question for you. How do you strategically position yourselves in potential projects? Let me know in the comment section so we can discuss it together.